ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well. I am. Anybody get up to anything yesterday? Or was it a pretty quiet day yesterday? Now, obviously, we're here to have a chat and a conversation along the lines of the review for what I would probably suggest is the most complete performance of the team as a whole yesterday. You run out of superlatives when you have a display like that. It was enjoyable. It was fun. It was not stressful to sit and watch. The only stressful thing about it, more than anything, was that we were going to end up doing the same thing that we did against Hull, which was not scoring a goal. And having looked back at yesterday's game and looked back at Hull's game, I firmly believe, had Rodon not been sent off, I pretty much think we would have done exactly the same thing. At least scored one goal. I really do think we would have done. But yeah, what a performance. I mean, people standing out and doing really, really well. Fourth clean sheet on the bounce, which is phenomenally good, particularly for us. Another 3 goals scored. We haven't conceded a goal now in the entirety of September so far to date. So let's not get overexcited, but that's a very, very nice stat to have, a very good stat to have. So in this week, 7 from the possible 9, which I think is a really, really good return. And funny that we're actually disappointed at the fact that we didn't take all 9 points available to us over this 3-game period. So overall, I mean, just what a game. What an absolute game of football to watch. The thing that I think we have to get used to now is that, and I was watching the square ball, and I got this from the square ball, and I 100% agree with it. We're in that sort of transitional period where we've gone from Bielsa, where just everything was just phenomenally good, to the absolute shite that was Jesse Marsh, to now this really kind of pragmatic, tactical approach from Farke, which is interesting. The first half was good. We should have been a couple of goals up, I think. Yet again, we've got another keeper, Bachmann, having an absolute worldie of a half for us, playing really, really well. Rutter should have put his away, whatever. The through ball from Pirot onto James was just filthy, really. There's nothing else you could say about it. James, was it a penalty? Yes. But the problem that you've got is that James was looking for it, so it made it an easy decision for the ref, who was shit, by the way, to make sure that he didn't have to give it, because you've got that where the player is falling into the other player. Make no mistake, if that's anywhere else on the pitch, that is a free kick. Don't care what anybody says. Then there was a save from Ampadu as well in the first sort of couple of minutes. And we were looking all right. We were kind of terrorising them a little bit. Watford clearly... Well, I don't know what Watford's plan was, in all essence. I mean, we struggled with Sheffield Wednesday because it was a low block and we weren't too sure how to deal with that. But you couldn't even say that what Watford did was a low block. It was almost like they just didn't know what they were doing. Their centre-forward should have been... yellow carded at the very, very least. But again, the standard of refereeing is so inconsistent. Well, the only consistent thing is that the standard of refereeing is so shit. But there you go. And then the second half happened, and then for me, Rutter just took over. Just took over. I can't begin to describe to you how much of a joy it is to watch somebody playing football without a care in the world, with just enjoying it and just having fun and having a good time. And just, there were some moments in that second half that just bordered on just ridiculousness. For our first goal, where Rutter receives the ball in the centre circle, spins their player, rides a challenge, rides another challenge, puts the ball through to Dan James. Dan James is then motoring down the wing. We've then got our striker gesturing to where he wants the ball. Dan James plays the ball to where it's supposed to be, and boom. Pirro's there to put the ball in the back of the net. 1-0. And it's just... It's quite interesting, the amount of strength that Rutter actually has in that circumstance, the way that he can just ride a challenge and move and ride. And then we scored the goal, and then we were just on top. And it was just getting very, not frenetic, but we were really putting them to the sword a little bit. We get the corner kick. James takes the corner, and of all people, Byram pops up. Bang, header, goal. Beautiful header as well. I'm not quite sure what the keeper was doing for that, but the header was really, really good for me, and very impressive goal for Byram. I'm really pleased for him, 150th appearance. And it was funny because I was sat watching there going, Phil Hay tweeted goal, and then Byram. Obviously, I was watching the game as well, but just then you just get the... just felt like it was like, is this 2013 all over again? I don't quite understand what's happened. So it was nice to see, and you can see that he really enjoyed that, and you can see that the crowd really enjoyed it as well. And then was the moment for me of the entire game when Anthony came on, and there was we'd passed the ball between defence, and it was kind of moving, and we were trying to move. You could see what we were trying to do. We were trying to move Watford into... Oh, just elbow. No, that's not your funny bone. It hurts. We were moving Watford around, or trying to manoeuvre Watford around to put just to create little gaps and spaces. And then Rutter takes the ball sort of halfway in our half, spins, does, I don't know what, just the trickery and wizardry that he did to get past the 2 or 3 players that he got past, the step over and the movement and the ball for Anthony, and then he just charged it down. And Anthony had a go before that. He kind of set himself up and it had gone wrong. He didn't put enough power into it, but he made no mistake with the finish this time around. And then it's 3-0, and we've absolutely destroyed them in the second half. It's just, what an overall performance. And, you know, Dan James had a good game. Somerville, again, had a very good game. But like Nonto, he gets kicked all over the place. Quite strong, can hold the ball up quite well, Somerville. I will say that much. Got substituted for Anthony, but in the first half, he was definitely our main threat. Kamara, it's like he's always played for us. It's like that didn't look like his first game whatsoever at all. Was there, was ratting around, was, you know, breaking up play, knocking the ball around. Really good decision by Farke just to give Gray that little bit of rest. Ampadu, I've got a man crush on Ampadu. He's that good. £7 million and better than Adams. Way better than Adams. The team that played yesterday dicks on the team that we had for the majority of last season, in my opinion. Absolutely dicks on them. This is the thing that I mean about when I say that it was nice. It's like we've got a team that we can look at and be happy with and feel some sort of connection to, whereas we didn't last year. We've got a manager who, by the way, has the first touch of an absolute god, and just the look on his face and smiling and everything was nice, and it was good. It was, do you know what I mean? Happy. Just that feeling of being part of something again, and part of a club that you could be proud of, and part of a team that you could be proud of as well, because everybody put in a shift. And Rutter was just... It wasn't just like he was showboating to take the mick. It was just like, that's just what Rutter does. That's how he plays the game. It's street ball to him. There's a couple of people that have said it with regards to it being kind of Rafinha-esque. And yes, to a certain degree, definitely, because just little things that he was pulling off. I think it was in the first half. He received the ball on the right-hand side and did a little pirouette, and their player came in to tackle him just as he was doing the pirouette, missed the tackle because of how he did it, and then fell over and slid off the pitch, ran forward, and then a Watford player just clattered him. And there was just other little flicks and tricks and just things that came off really, really, really well and helped make the opportunities for us. Pirro, 4 goals now in 5 games. He's got that knack of. He's very Chapman-esque, where he's got that knack of not kind of being involved, but then when the important moment arises, he's there and he does the business, which is just the hallmark of a 20-goal season striker. If he doesn't get 20 goals this season, I'll be surprised. I thought Cooper did well when he came in. Looked good, looked solid, looked assured. I think that potentially Farke sees Rodon and Strauch as our main central defensive pairing. It was just, like I say, it was good. It was just a good game to watch. Strauch as well, by the way, 97% pass accuracy. What? Tackles, everything was just on it. And I don't know what it is that's happened, the sea change that's happened, but it's good. And long may it continue. And, you know, I'm just a happy boy. It's just nice. It's just nice to see. And obviously this is Sunday, so coming away from the fact that Sheffield United have just been dicked 8-0 by Newcastle is quite funny, to say the least. I think the teams that have been promoted this season to the Premiership are going to be in a little bit of trouble potentially. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Nonto, obviously, with his injury, he's not going to be back until after the international break, which again gives other people chances, which is good to see. It's just nice to see Poveda good when he came on. Just everybody was good. Everybody knew what they needed to do. It looked like people understood. It looked like, do you know what? It looked like they'd been trained. It looked like there was a plan. Whereas before, it didn't look like that at all. And it was just good. I'm just pleased. I'm just unbelievably hard. And that's going to do it for this one, guys. If you've enjoyed it, click the like button. If you're new to this channel, please also don't forget to subscribe, share it, all of those types of things, because it really helps me out. And that's going to do it for this one. And yeah, what a weekend. It's much better when Leeds win. Makes it 10 times easier. We'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.